Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good day to everyone, and also to our distinguished lecturer, Dr. Hawati. For today, we are going to present our Learning to Learn module. But before that, allow me to introduce our group members. The first one is Kaliswari, second one is Munira, third one is Shazlana, myself, and last one is Siti Hanisa. There are three main objectives for our module. The first one is to focus on the language awareness, where we are focusing on the grammar part. Second one is to make it easy to be used across the topics or contexts. And the last one is to improve learners with tenses for all level, whereby this module is applicable to all year 1 until year 6 pupil. Our focus skills are reading and writing, and this module is the most suitable to be used during language awareness as it focuses on the grammar part.
Hi everyone, Siti Hanisa Abrahman here. I would like to introduce our first activity, Verb to be Architects Sentence Building Adventures. If you notice, some primary school pupils still confuse how they should use the verb to be in the sentence form. Hence, the main idea of this activity is to make sentences using the correct verb to be. This activity uses two language learning strategies, which are cognitive strategies and social strategies. Cognitive strategies involve mental processes such as analyzing, organizing, and manipulating information. In this activity, pupils engage in cognitive processes as they construct sentences using the given subjects and the appropriate form of the verb to be. They need to think critically about the subject-verb agreement and choose the correct form of the verb based on the subject. By actively applying their knowledge and manipulating linguistic elements, pupils strengthen their understanding of how verb to be works in different contexts. Meanwhile, social strategy involves interactions and communication with others in the learning process. This activity encourages pupils to work collaboratively in small groups. They share ideas, discuss sentence construction, and exchange feedback with their peers. By engaging in group discussion, pupils learn from one another, negotiate meaning, and develop their language skills collectively. The social aspect of the activity promotes active participation, cooperation, and a supportive learning environment. By incorporating cognitive and social strategies, the sentence building adventures activity encourages pupils to think critically, apply their knowledge, and interact with their peers. These strategies enhance the learning experience and support pupils' language acquisition and understanding of the verb to be in a meaningful and collaborative way. So the purpose of this activity is to reinforce pupils' understanding of the appropriate form of the verb to be, am, is, are, based on the subject of the sentence. To conduct this activity, teachers can prepare sentence strips or small pieces of paper by writing different subjects on each strip of paper. For example, I, he, the cat, you, they, the flowers. Next, write the forms of the verb to be am, is, are on separate strips or papers. How to conduct the activity? Teachers start by explaining the concept of verb to be and its different forms, am, is, are, and when each form is used in said induction. They have learned this topic before, so this activity will help them to strengthen their understanding. For the activity part, first, teachers can divide the class into small groups consisting of 3 to 4 pupils depending on the number of pupils and distribute the subject strip evenly among the groups. Next, explain that each group will work together to construct sentences using the given subjects and the appropriate form of the verb to be. Instruct pupils to create as many sentences as they can within a given time limit, for example 5 minutes, using the subjects and the correct form of the verb to be. When done, each group can take turns sharing their sentences with the rest of the class. For closure part, after each group has shared their sentences, you can engage the class in a discussion about the sentences they heard. So in step 1, pupils recap the lesson on the concept of the verb to be and its different forms, am, is, are, and when each form is used. For example, am for first person singular, is for third person singular, and are for plural subjects. Step 2. Each group will get the same amount of sentence strip with different subjects and verb to be. Here, you can also encourage pupils to be creative and construct meaningful sentences using the subjects and the appropriate form of the verb to be. During presentation of the sentences, you can emphasize them on using the correct grammar usage and pronunciation. For step 3, let pupils identify the subjects and discuss whether the appropriate form of the verb to be am, is, or are was used correctly in each sentence. Teacher may provide additional explanations or examples as needed to reinforce the concept. At the end of the activity, you can evaluate them by distributing exit tickets to the pupils. Ask them to circle the heart that best represent how they feel after the lesson. Next, they explain why they choose the heart and write down one thing they learned from the activity. This allows for individual reflection and provides you with insights into their understanding and enjoyment levels. Variations. You can also modify this activity for advanced pupils by providing additional words or phrases that pupils must incorporate into their sentences while still using the correct form of the verb to be. For reinforcement activity, you can ask them to write a short paragraph using the subjects and the appropriate form of the verb to be. That's all from me. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, I'm Kaliswari here. I'll be presenting on the second activity, which is named as Hoppy Hop. This activity is adapted from the idea of hopscotch. This activity will be focusing on simple present and simple past tense. As primary school teachers, we always encounter pupils having difficulties with their tenses. So this activity will help them to remember simple present and simple past tenses and also differentiate the differences between them. So there are two language learning strategies that underpinned in this activity. First of all is memory strategy, where students have to remember the simple present and simple past tenses to complete the activity. Next is the cognitive strategies, where students have to use imagery based on the pictures provided to construct simple present and simple past tense sentences. The benefit of the activities are it can be adapted according to students' proficiency level, no matter they are from high proficiency, intermediate or low proficiency level. Next, it involves imagery and ideas generation process among learners. It will also facilitate fun and active participation among learners in order to complete the task. The main purpose of this activity is to help learners to understand and construct simple present and simple past sentences by generating ideas on the images provided. And the language focus is mainly tenses, which will be focused on simple past and also simple present tenses. The main material to conduct this activity is the hopscotch mat. This hopscotch mat is made up of symbols of feet and palm. And each row of the hopscotch mat represents a topic. For example, the first row represents beach, the second row is restaurant, third row is home, fourth row is school, and fifth row is park. The next material needed for this activity is envelopes. These envelopes will be named according to the topics, and each envelope will contain series of pictures that are related to the topics. Now, I will explain on the instructions of the activity. For set induction, pupils will be introduced to simple present and simple past sentences. Pupils also will be explained to the rules on how to play the hoppy hop mat. Pupils will begin the activity by throwing beanbag on the hoppy hop mat to choose their topic, and they will hop on the hoppy hop mat according to the symbols. Next, pupils will choose a picture from the envelope with the topic chosen. Lastly, pupils will construct one simple present and one simple past sentences based on the topic and picture chosen. I'll explain the activity in detail. For step 1, people follow the instruction and the first people throw his or her beanbag on the hoppy hop mat to choose a topic. As you can see in the video, people will start to hop on the hoppy hop mat according to the symbol till the end to get the picture based on the topic chosen. If any of the pupils fail to follow the symbol or lose their balance and fall on the mat, they have to miss their round and wait for their next turn. Once the student complete hopping on the hoppy hop mat successfully, they have to choose a picture from the envelope of the topic that they have chosen earlier. For example, when the student throw beanbag on the hoppy hop mat and chose the topic park, they have to choose a picture that's related to the topic. For example, riding bicycle can be one of the picture that included in the envelope. Next, based on the topic and the picture chosen, pupils have to write one simple present and one simple past sentences. Here, students will learn the differences between simple present and simple past sentences. As for the evaluation of the activity, pupils have to write or draw their feelings or opinion on a piece of paper. Then they have to fold the paper into paper plane and fly their plane in the classroom. Teacher will choose the paper plane randomly to share pupils' feelings and opinions written on the paper. This activity can be adapted and conducted in various ways. For lower proficiency students, the teacher can provide them with words or phrases together with pictures. This will help them to construct sentences easily and guide them to write more accurate sentences. Then, teachers can also encourage the pupils to write words or phrases instead of sentences. This will be very helpful and suitable for learners from low proficiency group. To make the activity more challenging, the instructor can add more rows to the hopscotch mat. Then, the instructor also can encourage pupils to think on their own based on the topic without any picture guidance. This will make the activity more challenging and fun for the pupils.
Hello everyone, my name is Munira. Now I'm going to introduce our third activity, auxiliary verbs, point and sing. If you are a primary school teacher, you might notice that some of our pupils are not able to use basic auxiliary verbs, such as verb to be, verb to do, and verb to have. Sometimes they omit these verbs in sentences, and sometimes they are confused with the singular and plural forms. Previously, we already introduced to you an activity for verb to be. In addition to that, this one can be expanded to other language items as well. But in this module, I'm going to focus only on auxiliary verbs. So the main idea of this activity is to allow pupils to sing the auxiliary verb song while pointing at themselves or their friends. This activity can be done regardless of what topics and year you are teaching, because in CAFR, grammar is not taught explicitly. So this activity is underpinned by two language learning strategies, which are memory strategies and social strategies. Singing the song while pointing to the correct
subjects need pupils to memorize the grammar rule, and it also takes on social strategies as pupils would have to point to each other as a class or in groups. So why are we focusing on these strategies? Since auxiliary verb is one of the basic grammar components taught to as early as year 1, we think it is appropriate to select a strategy that is suitable for all levels of proficiency. So memory strategy can be applied on both non-achievers and achievers, while social strategies are able to make learning fun and engaging, especially for primary school pupils. It also allows two-way communication, so pupils could apply the words and rules directly on their friends during the activity. So the purpose of this activity is to help pupils remember and use the correct forms of auxiliary verbs according to the subjects of the sentence. In this activity, we focus on verb to be, verb to do, and verb to have, where pupils learn and practice to use them with the correct subjects. So teachers can teach pupils the song without this graphic note. However, providing one would be helpful to visual learners. This note can be printed and displayed in front or at the back of the class, as pupils can refer to it from time to time. So as you can see, we have separated this graphic note into 3 parts. The first one for verb to be, second one for verb to do, and the last one for verb to have. So as you can see in the note, using the same pictures for singular and plural subjects helps people to find a pattern in the grammar rules. I also would like you to pay attention to the pointing symbols. We use one finger to point at singular subjects and the palm to point at plural subjects. These small details may look simple, but it can stimulate people's memory when they associate the words categories to the actions. So to conduct the activity, you need to make sure that you have already introduced the people to singular and plural subjects, and they have been exposed to subject-verb agreements in full sentences, because this activity is to help pupils assuage their confusions on the verb forms instead of introducing them to these auxiliary verbs. So during the activity, you can let the pupils go through the note and read it aloud. This step is actually quite flexible, so you can do anything here. Next, introduce them to the melody of the nursery rhyme, Skip to Malu. You can do so by singing or humming to the original song, then demonstrate on how to sing the song while pointing at the note. You can ask them to use one finger or 5 fingers here accordingly. So after a few times, have they sing and point to the people in the class. People like it when their friends point at them, right? So remind them to change the person they are pointing at during the next round. And after this activity, you can plan other activities to let them apply this rule in complete sentences. And the possibility is limitless. Okay, let's try it out. Here's the graphic map. You can ask pupils to name the subjects based on the picture, then read it with the verbs. So for example, I am, the boy is, or you can change to pronounce he is, the girl is, she is, the cat is, it is, we are, they are, you are, and so on. After you are done with all 3 sections, you can teach them the song.
I am, he, she, it is. I am, he, she, it is. I am, he, she, it is. We, they, you are. I do, he, she, it does. I do, he, she, it does. I do, he, she, it does. We, they, you do. I have, he, she, it has. I have, he, she, it has. I have, he, she, it has. We, they, you have.
Now you can proceed with the sing and point activity. So since the pupils are already active after doing the actions, you might plan an evaluation sessions that is fun. So our suggestion is to divide the class into 2 sections and ask pupils to move to their preferred sites to show whether they like or they're unsure or dislike the activity. Lastly, the activity can also be modified in terms of materials or the instructions. So a few suggestions here are, first, you can have the graphic note printed for everyone in pocket size, so they can refer to it whenever needed. Secondly, you can turn it into a group or listening activity where they complete a task while listening to the song. And finally, if you or your pupils are older and don't like singing, you can actually turn the song into jazz chants as well. So that's all. Thank you for listening.